Hello everyone, my name is Ms. Shiva. I'm here with Kansas City Public Schools, and this is Science for 5th and 6th grade. Today you will learn that consumers get energy to live by eating other organisms, and that the path of energy from one organism to another is shown in a food chain. Also, you will be able to construct the food chain and explain how energy flows through the chain. And we're here in Kansas City Zoo. Our planet is covered with living things from large organisms to very small. All living things have one thing in common: they cannot survive alone. You already know that all living things need energy to grow and survive. Energy gives us power to do different things. You have learned about producers and consumers and decomposers. So all living things can be divided into three groups. Producers make their own food. Plants, algae, and some bacteria are all producers. Most producers produce energy through photosynthesis, which is the creation of sugar molecules, through the chemical process that requires carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. Any living thing that cannot make its own food must eat other living things to survive. We call them consumers. Consumers cannot produce food directly from the sun's energy. They must eat other organisms, such as plants and animals, to get energy. And another type of consumers are decomposers. When organisms die or produce waste, decomposers break them apart into nutrients. And examples of the decomposers are bacteria, worms, and mushrooms. Well, let's talk more about consumers. Herbivores are plant eaters. Herbivores eat producers like a plant: zebra, deer, camel, rabbit. This is all examples of herbivores. Herbivores meaning they get their food from eating plants. Carnivores are meat eaters. Carnivores eat other consumers. Examples of carnivores can be a tiger, cheetah, certain type of snakes, wolves. They are all carnivores, meaning they get their food from eating other animals. Omnivores are plant and animal eaters. Omnivores eat both other animals and plants. Example can be raccoon, pig, chicken. They all are omnivores. Most humans are omnivores as well. They eat producers like fruits and vegetables, and consumers like a cow and chickens. Decomposers are omnivores that eat dead organisms and other waste. Decomposers like a fungus and bacteria break down waste, dead plants, and animals for food. Decomposers are very important because they recycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. How to remember the name of the consumers? There's a little trick. Herbivore has word herb in it, which is plant. Carnivore has the prefix carni, which comes from the Latin word for meat. And omnivore has the prefix omni, which means everything. So omnivores eat everything. But how we connect all these consumers? In science, we use different kind of scientific models to show how things work. For example, this globus is a scientific model of our Earth. So we use a model called a food chain to show eating relationship in an ecosystem. What does a food chain shows us? A food chain shows how each living thing gets its own food. It shows who is eating who. The arrow means is eaten by. The arrows always point to the organism that is doing the eating. Let's create an example of simple food chain. So sun gives energy to a plant. Plants are producers. So we have a consumer, grasshopper, and it's also herbivore. Plant got eaten by a grasshopper. So producer got eaten by herbivore. Grasshopper got eaten by bird, or bird ate a grasshopper. So bird is consumer and it is omnivore. Snake ate bird, or bird got eaten by the snake. Snake is a carnivore. And snake got eaten by owl, or owl ate snake, and owl is a carnivore. When owl dies, it's going to be decomposed by decomposers. Guys, for your homework, I want you to construct a food chain, label all producers and consumers in your food chain. Also, I'll label what consumers in your food chain are carnivore, omnivore, herbivore, and decomposer. Also, explain how producers, consumers, and decomposers from your food chain connected with each other. And important, don't forget that everything starts from the sun. Okay, guys, let's summarize it. Today, we have learned that consumers get energy to live by eating other organisms. We also have learned that the path of energy from one organism to another is shown in a scientific model called a food chain. And now you can construct a simple food chain and explain how energy flows through the chain. It has been my pleasure to have you guys in the science class today. My name is Ms. Shiva, and I'm here with Kansas City Public Schools. I'll see you next time.